Have you ever wondered how organizations decide where to allocate their resources? It's a puzzle, isn't it? In every organization, resource management is a complex labyrinth that requires navigating. It's not as simple as divvying up the pie. It involves a delicate balance of strategic insight and a deep understanding of the organization's needs. Consider this. An organization has to decide on how to distribute its budget, determine the deployment of its workforce, and even make crucial decisions about technology. These aren't decisions made in a vacuum. Instead, they require a thorough understanding of the organization's environment, its strategic goals, and the potential risks involved. The stakes are high, and the consequences can be far-reaching. Get it right, and the organization runs like a well-oiled machine. Get it wrong, and it could lead to inefficiencies, lost opportunities, or worse. In this video, we will dive deep into the strategic process behind these decisions. Welcome to the conundrum of resource management. Resource allocation is not just about dividing assets. It's a strategic decision that can make or break an organization. Resource allocation, at its core, is the process of assigning and managing assets in a manner that supports an organization's strategic goals. It's akin to a game of chess, where every move you make influences the outcome of the game. But here the stakes are far higher. Resources aren't confined to financial capital. They also encompass time, technology, and people. Each of these elements is a cog in the machinery of your organization, and the efficiency with which they are allocated can determine the smoothness of your operations and the realization of your strategic objectives. Let's break it down further. Time, for instance, is a finite resource. How you allocate it across various tasks and projects can significantly impact your productivity and success. Just as a poorly planned day can lead to chaos, an inefficient allocation of time in an organization can result in missed deadlines, overtime, and ultimately, lost opportunities. Similarly, personnel are the lifeblood of any organization. They bring their unique skills, experiences, and perspectives to the table. Allocating them effectively means placing them in roles where their talents can be best utilized, leading to not only higher job satisfaction, but also improved organizational performance. Next, we have technology. In today's digital age, technology plays an integral role in streamlining operations and enhancing productivity. Allocating technological resources effectively means ensuring that the right tools are in the hands of the right people at the right time. And last but not least, money, the most tangible of resources. It's not just about how much you have, but how you use it. Effective financial allocation involves investing in areas that will generate the most value for the organization, whether it's research and development, marketing, or personnel training. In essence, resource allocation is a balancing act, one that requires strategic foresight, sound judgment, and constant monitoring. It is a dynamic process that adjusts as the organization grows and the landscape changes. With that understanding, let's delve into a case study to see these principles in action. Consider the story of Tech Titan, a tech giant that had to make some tough resource allocation decisions during a crisis. In the not-so-distant past, Tech Titan, a global leader in technology, was faced with a crisis that threatened to destabilize its market position. Sales were plummeting, competitors were gaining ground, and there was a palpable air of uncertainty within the organization. The crisis was real, and the stakes were high. It was clear to the leaders at Tech Titan that the survival and future success of the company hinged on their ability to make strategic decisions about resource allocation. They needed to figure out how to best utilize their budgets, personnel, and technology to weather the storm and emerge stronger on the other side. The question was, how? The first step was to employ risk management techniques. Tech Titan's leadership team understood that they couldn't afford to make decisions based on gut feelings or assumptions. They needed reliable evidence. So they began to gather and analyze data, lots of it. They looked at market trends, sales figures, competitor analysis, and they conducted an in-depth review of their own operations. They left no stone unturned in their quest for information. Armed with this evidence, Tech Titan was able to identify areas of risk and opportunity. They found that while some of their products were underperforming, others were showing potential for growth. They also discovered that their competitors were gaining ground in areas they had previously overlooked. This information was crucial in guiding their resource allocation decisions. The next step was to challenge their existing strategies. Tech Titan realized that in order to survive, they needed to be adaptable. They needed to question their current approaches and be willing to change course if necessary. They examined their operations in terms of ethics, responsibility, sustainability, resource allocation, and risk management. They questioned every assumption, every decision, and every strategy. Through this process, Tech Titan identified several areas where resources could be better utilized. They found opportunities for cost savings, efficiency gains, and potential areas for investment. They also identified key performance indicators, KPIs, that would help them monitor the success of their decisions. One of the most critical decisions Tech Titan made was in regard to their financial strategies. Using financial data, they were able to allocate resources more effectively. They developed budgets based on their strategic objectives and KPIs, and they challenged the financial assumptions that had previously underpinned their strategies. This allowed them to make informed decisions about where to invest, where to cut back, and how to best align their resources with their strategic goals. Tech Titan also focused on procurement, supply chain management, and contracts. They realized that by improving these areas, they could enhance efficiency, reduce costs, and better manage risk. They renegotiated contracts, streamlined their supply chain, and implemented new procurement strategies. The result? Tech Titan not only survived the crisis, they emerged stronger than ever before. Their strategic resource allocation decisions, guided by reliable evidence and risk management techniques, led to improved performance, increased market share, and renewed confidence within the organization. The story of Tech Titan is a testament to the power of strategic resource allocation. In the face of crisis, Tech Titan's triumph serves as a powerful case study of how strategic insight and reliable evidence can guide resource allocation decisions, challenge existing strategies, and lead to organizational success. It's a story of resilience, adaptability, and the power of strategic decision-making. Tech Titan's story provides us with some key insights into resource management decisions. The journey of this tech giant paints a vivid picture of how strategic insight, risk management, and reliable evidence can shape the course of an organization's success. Firstly, strategic thinking is paramount. The case of Tech Titan demonstrates how viewing the organization from a bird's-eye perspective can help identify the resources that are truly essential to its operations. It's about understanding the bigger picture, discerning the role of each resource, and making informed decisions about where to invest. Secondly, risk management comes into play. In an unpredictable world, crisis situations are all but inevitable. The ability to lead and respond in these situations is crucial. Tech Titan's approach to risk management, anticipating potential problems, preparing for them, and having a contingency plan in place, serves as a valuable example for any organization. Thirdly, the use of reliable evidence in decision-making cannot be understated. Tech Titan's use of financial data and key performance indicators to guide resource allocation decisions shows how evidence-based management can lead to more effective and efficient operations. It's not about making assumptions or going with gut feelings. It's about basing decisions on solid, reliable evidence. The case study also highlights the importance of challenging strategies and operations in terms of ethics, responsibility, and sustainability. It's about questioning the status quo, probing the implications of every decision, and ensuring that resource allocation aligns with the organization's ethical standards and sustainability goals. Furthermore, overseeing the development and monitoring of financial strategies and managing procurement, supply chain, and contracts are vital components of resource management. These aspects, as illustrated by Tech Titan, require meticulous attention to detail and a deep understanding of the business landscape. As we wrap up this scene, Remember that resource allocation is a dynamic process that requires continuous monitoring and adjustment. It's not a one-time task, but an ongoing responsibility that demands strategic insight, risk management skills, and a commitment to evidence-based decision-making. As we can see, resource allocation is not a task to be taken lightly. But how does this apply to the broader business landscape? Well, let's take a moment to paint a picture. The principles we've gleaned from our case study don't just apply to tech giants. They're relevant to all organizations, regardless of size or industry. Whether you're a fledgling startup or a century-old conglomerate, strategic resource allocation is a linchpin of success. Firstly, let's talk ethics and responsibility. These aren't just buzzwords to throw around in board meetings. They should be at the heart of every decision you make about your resources. For instance, when allocating budgets, it's not just about maximizing profits. It's also about ensuring fair wages for your employees, investing in safe and healthy workplaces, and contributing to the communities where you operate. Remember, a business that operates ethically and responsibly is one that garners trust, loyalty, and respect from its stakeholders. Next, let's move on to sustainability. In today's world, we can't afford to ignore our environmental footprint. Resource allocation should also take into account the impact on our planet. This could mean investing in energy-efficient technologies, reducing waste in your supply chain, or sourcing materials responsibly. Sustainability isn't just good for the environment, it's good for business. It can lead to cost savings, open up new markets, and enhance your brand's reputation. And let's not forget about business continuity and risk management. In an ever-changing landscape, it's essential to be prepared for the unexpected. Your resource allocation strategies should include provisions for managing crises and mitigating risks. This could be setting aside a portion of your budget for emergency situations or investing in technologies that ensure your operations can continue in the face of disruptions. A resilient business is one that can weather storms and emerge stronger on the other side. Furthermore, the use of financial data is crucial in allocating resources. This is where key performance indicators, KPIs, come into play. By monitoring KPIs, you can get a clear picture of where your resources are going and how they're contributing to your goals. This information can help you make informed decisions, challenge financial assumptions, and ensure your resources are being used effectively. Finally, overseeing procurement, supply chain management, and contracts is an integral part of resource allocation. It's not just about getting the best deals, but also about building strong relationships with suppliers, managing risks, and ensuring transparency and fairness in your contracts. So, as we wrap up this scene, remember this: resource allocation isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a complex process that requires strategic insight, ethical considerations, and a focus on sustainability and resilience. Ultimately, strategic resource allocation is about making the most of what you have to achieve your organization's goals. As we wrap up, remember that resource allocation is a critical part of any organization's strategy. It's the backbone of operations, the fuel of progress, and the compass that guides us towards our goals. It's not just about numbers and budgets, but about people, technology, and the very ethos of your organization. Let's revisit the key points we've discussed today. First, we explored the complex conundrum of resource management, understanding that it's a balance between the tangible and intangible, the immediate and the future. We delved into the nuts and bolts of resource allocation, examining how resources are not just spent, but invested strategically to yield maximum returns. We then took a deep dive into a case study of a tech titan's triumph, observing how they turned challenges into opportunities through astute resource allocation. Their success story underlined the importance of making decisions based on strategic insight and reliable evidence, of leading in crisis situations using risk management techniques. We emphasized the significance of challenging strategies and operations in terms of ethics, responsibility, sustainability, resource allocation, and business continuity. It's not enough to just have a strategy. It must be sustainable, ethical, and responsible. keeping in mind not just the bottom line, but the world we live in. We also discussed the role of financial data in resource allocation. It's not just about how much you have, but how well you use it. Allocating resources based on key performance indicators, challenging financial assumptions underpinning strategies, overseeing the development and monitoring of financial strategies are all critical elements of strategic resource allocation. We shed light on procurement, supply chain management, and contracts. These are the cogs in the machine, the nuts and bolts that keep the organization running. Overseeing these aspects effectively can make a world of difference to your organization's efficiency and effectiveness. As we conclude, let's remember that strategic resource allocation is not a one-time task, but an ongoing process. It requires constant vigilance, regular review, and the courage to make tough decisions. It's about making the most of what you have while preparing for what's to come. So as you go back to your organizations, take these principles with you, apply them, adapt them, make them your own. Let them guide your decisions, shape your strategies, and lead your organizations towards greater heights. Remember, in the world of business, strategic resource allocation can be the difference between success and failure. It's not just about doing more with less, but about doing better with what you have. It's about turning resources into results, investments into returns, and challenges into opportunities. Thank you for watching. Here's to making wise decisions, to leading with insight, and to creating a future that's not just profitable but sustainable, ethical, and forward-looking. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a difference.